iiRcade Misfire, Arcade 1-Up Fast and Furious and Time Crisis leaks, and Deluxe cabs are just falling off trucks. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Another episode of This Week, the show where we talk about what happened this week in the world of home arcade gaming. And this is episode 94. Episode 94, so close to that episode 100. Really excited to get there. And I've been pumping it up for weeks now, maybe even months. We got to do something really big. What is going on, everybody? So speaking of big, my friend, my good buddy B over at Kongs R Us just hit 10,000 subscribers. Congratulations, B. Thank you so much for bringing everybody over. And I hope you gave just a ton of stuff away. I love it when streamers take the time to do that. And it just really just is a way to kind of give back to the community. It's a lot of fun to get everybody engaged. So awesome show tonight, B. Awesome show, Justin, as well tonight. Killing it with the Sunday lineup, and I don't mind being the anchor leg, trying to bring us in, close it all out. Got some stuff to talk about, lots of stuff to talk about, a variety of things to discuss. So let's talk about the first few things that we always talk about in every show, and that's what are you drinking? So what I'm drinking is we're back to the Jeffersons. I wanted to switch it up a little bit, and I think we had the Basin Hazel Baden. We had him for a couple weeks, so I want to go back to the Jeffersons, and I want to talk a little bit about something else that I have in my glass besides the bourbon, which is delicious and refreshing, and incredibly smooth. And that's the ice that I have in my drink. You ever seen some of those gourmet ice, the big globes or the big square, the big cubes? Well, you can buy those things. You don't have to go to a gourmet place. You don't have to go to a special shop. You don't even have to go to a bar. I mean, you can go to a bar if you want. But I go and get this is the brand that now I'm not sure how many brands are actually out there of gourmet ice, but Query Ice is based in Chicago. They ship all over the region here in the Cincinnati area. They ship their products here. So this is some of their big cubes, but I prefer the globes because it looks like a little Death Star. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a nerd. I'm a Star Wars nerd. That's fine. So they look like a little Death Star in my glass, but if you're looking for this gourmet ice, you want to try it out. It's not terribly expensive, but it's not super cheap either. But Quarry Ice is a brand, not a sponsor of the channel, but maybe, you know what, they should be. But anyway, so that's what I have in my glass besides the bourbon. So let me know what you're drinking in the chat, and if you're watching the live stream, let me know what you're drinking as well. Also, the poll every week, as you know, every week we have a poll question in the chat. This one is going to be pertaining to that leak that we saw this week. And talk about that a little bit more. It's gonna get a whole section, a whole topic in the show tonight, and that's one of those leaked cabs. But the question remains: when a new cabinet comes out, we're excited initially, but I think that if we step back and really think about the cabinets that we really want, are we getting the cabs that we really want? So here's the question for you. It's a poll question. Everybody jump up there, let your voice be heard tonight. And the question is simply this: vote for the racing cabinet you would most likely buy. You're most likely to buy from Arcade 1-Up from the list below. So I listed 4 racing cabinets. Let's pretend they're all the same price. They're all coming out at the same year. Which one would you buy? Which one are you most likely to buy? And you got a couple options here. You got Daytona USA. You got Cruising USA, Hydro Thunder, and Fast and Furious, which is the cab that actually leaked. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. So I really want to know. This is hopefully going to kind of give me, like an idea as far as kind of a ranking of these 4 cabinets. What is going to be the community's number 1 through number 4? So please jump up there. We got 121 votes. Let's see if we can't get to 250, maybe even 300. I don't know. Maybe a little bit too lofty a goal, but I think we can do it. So everybody jump up there and vote, and it really kind of helps me understand where everybody's at. Maybe if Fast and Furious isn't your deal, it's not your bag, baby, then maybe it's Daytona. Cruising, I don't know. But I really want to know what everybody's thinking tonight. So jump up there and vote. I really do appreciate it. A little bit of gathering of the data. Okay, maybe something that Arcade 1-Up, maybe they're doing it. I don't know, but we don't see those polls. And so it's nice to do those on our own. Got almost 198 people watch right now. So please jump up there and vote on the poll. So we talked about what I'm drinking. I want to know what you're drinking. We talked about the poll. We talked about the ice that's in my glass. Also, a lot of these little machines are getting a lot of, love lately. It's the Replicades from New Wave Toys. I've got a couple here. I've got Dragon Slayer, and then I've also got 1943. This is the, I forget what the variant is called. This isn't the one that's currently on sale on their website, but this thing, I've done some Instagram pictures of this. It's a little dynamo cab. It's a little dynamo cab, and it looks just like my Raiden cab. So I had to get this one. But these things are really cool. Got the volume down so it's not too loud. And I've got them over here. I got a little mat for each one. And then, okay. All right. Now we know that the stools are not that exciting from Arcade One Up, but these, come on. Come on. Look at these things. They're cool. They're really cool. I got one for each cabinet. Look at that. I mean, come on. And they're not that expensive. Now the cabinets over here, well, they're a little more expensive. They're like 150, 170, depending on, when you pick them up. Sometimes if they're out of stock or they're out of production, you're really going to have to pay. The Street Fighter version of that little Dynamo cab right now, yeah, they actually came up with a Street Fighter 2. Not anymore. If you go find them on eBay, you're going to pay 500 plus. It's just the way it is. Now, is it worth that? I don't think so. I don't think so. I would have already had one. So no, 500 is a bit much, but they're really cool. And everybody's showing theirs off. So I wanted to show mine off too. So we talked about that. We talked about the glass and the drink within the glass. We talked about the poll question. Please jump up there and vote on that. Now I got to talk to you. Let's say hi to the chat. Let's see who is here today. So the first comment comes to us from Gotham City Arcade at 2 p.m. 2:05 p.m. Thank you so much for that early bird special of a comment. He says, "Hey, Battle, are you surprised by Fast and Furious cab? If the technology is there for the cab, why haven't we seen Daytona or Cruising by now? Was I surprised? I was about 75% surprised. I've heard about this for a long time. I've heard about this rumor for a while. Some of you have also heard of it too. I didn't think they'd go with Fast and Furious. I really didn't think so. The only thing that kind of, that 25% remained was, it's Raw Thrills. And I know they did Buck Hunter. So it's like, maybe they will. Maybe they will. Maybe it's really tough to get some of the licensing of those other big cabs, those other big titles. And then maybe getting Daytona to run like it should is a bit of an issue for them. So that was the 25%. So I was about 75% surprised. But yeah, I didn't see it coming the way that it did for sure. Beach Native 78 says, "What up, Foxy and chat? I know this is random, but is the Ridge Racer Buy Stuff arcade mod worth getting? Or for those that have it, does it have the rumble on the steering wheel? I don't know. I don't have it, but I've heard a lot of great things about the kit, about the package they put together. So I recommend swinging by the website, go to buystuffarcade.com, check them out and see what the pricing is, and check out some reviews. And maybe, just maybe, I'm going to do something like that on my channel because it's a little bit too tempting to resist for sure." Mike is going Fist, Fox, Fist. Are you beating up the Fox? Are you beating me up? Come on, man. Mike, thought we were friends. What are you doing? A Tran Fanatic says, "Hey, Fox, I got my Ridge Racer together. Awesome. And it's in the living room. Sadly, my audio is crackling at startup and messing with the volume switch. I still got to enjoy it last night, though. See you later." I'm glad you got to enjoy it as much as you could. There's nothing worse than spending, well, I guess depending on when you got it, you either paid like $700 or $300 for the thing. It's all over the place. But hopefully you got it for a sweet deal. Audio issues, kind of that's rough, man, because it's tough to figure that out. Maybe check your check out that 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, see if it's plugged in all the way. I don't know. Could be maybe you got to run a little bit lower of a volume. So sucks. And I hope you're doing well with your job search too, buddy. Thanks so much for stopping by. JJ McQuaid says, "Super Dudes sold my old, Sup Dudes. I assume the ER. Sup Dudes sold my old Pac-Mans. The new ones better not be junk." Well, you never really know, do you? We got some new information on those, actually. Something just released from Arcade One Up tonight, I believe. Tonight or yesterday, late yesterday. I'm not exactly sure when they released it, but we're going to go over that tonight. Pac-Man is definitely a staple with Arcade One Up. They say it keeps the lights on, it pays the bills. I got to say, though, this is definitely the first time I say it's worth considering the upgrade when you're talking about that new form factor. So hopefully, knock on wood, they're not junk, but we will see what we will see. Jason M says, smiley face emoji, the bad guy. I'm sorry. Let me back it up with the big Reese. How you doing, buddy? Thank you for stopping by. The bad guy, Mike Worley just wants choosing at this point to be the bad guy. He could turn over a new leaf, change his ways, and be a good guy. It is what it is. Good evening, Fox. Cruising gets my vote. They can make it happen. Absolutely. They can make it happen on the emulation side. But the licensing, that's a whole nother issue, isn't it, buddy? Endless One Up says, face blue wide eyes. That's an emoji. spelled out phonetically. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. I love to see you in the chat, Endless. Gallagher Guy 88. What is up, Fox? Getting my bourbon on. There you go. It's always good to get the bourbon on and playing some pinball while listening to the smooth sounds of your podcast. I'll try to keep these sounds as smooth as possible. Thank you so much for tuning in, buddy. Jay says, gotta be Daytona, 19K Fox, and would love to see a Virtua Racer cab. Absolutely. Anything Virtua has got my vote for sure. Dark Empire says, have a fantastic Sunday night show, Fox. Hope the move is going well. The move is going incremental. We're moving forward. It's going. This house has not been packed up yet. The other house is coming together. So it's all the arcade, is coming. It's sad to say it's coming down. It's coming down. The big move happens next weekend when all the cabs go away. Single tear rolling down my cheek. Absolutely. Paul, what's going on, buddy? Says, what's up, Fox? Just saw from Console Kids that the new Deluxe cabs have monitor issues. Uh-oh. Monitor Gate 2.0, Monitor Gate 3.0 at this point. Incoming. Once again, the phonetic spelling of the emoji, hand orange covering eyes. Like that. That's what's going on there. I think it's never wise to just assume that everything is going to be great, that everything's going to be good. Sometimes these companies, individuals, friends in your life really got to come through to reassure you. Just like my good buddy, Ezekiel Chicago Retro Ranger, coming through with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. He says, what's up, my brother? I was at Galloping Ghost yesterday. You need that big blue cab. I know the one you're talking about. Have a great stream. Cheers, brother. Cheers indeed to you. Thank you so much for that $10 super chat, buddy. He goes down so smooth. $10 super chat deserves a little something special. I got to blow you up, buddy. And here you go.
Can't you do any better?
MSU Rich is saying hashtag mod one up. Wrong stream, buddy. Wrong stream. Thanks for stopping by anyway. Hoping to enter a contest that doesn't exist over on this channel yet. Constorm Entertainment, how you doing, bud? Good day, Fox. Good day to you as well, sir. Thanks for stopping by. Mike Hawkhurts, lost his hell. Don't know what's going on. We got everybody hashing and tagging on things that they the hashtag hobby hands. Okay. Paul Barris, thank you so much for classing up the joint with a hashtag, another hashtag. RadLad71. What's up, Fox? Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the channel here live for the live stream. Jim Pacers fan says, what's up? Looking forward to the show. Thank you for looking forward to it. I hope it exceeds your expectations. Sean Retro Arcade. Good evening, Fox. Good evening to you as well. Ralphie Duran, what's going on? How you doing, Fox? I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I'm doing just fine. Doing a little bit better now as the show rolls on. It gets better and better. More hashtag. Y'all are killing me. Dan Z is said, hey, Fox, wink, fist emoji. Thank you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Head Shake TV. What's up, Fox? How you doing? With 3 exclamation points, I'm honored. Thank you so much. C Marvel 360 in the house. What's up? Hashtag everyone. No, not hashtag everyone. At everyone. Gabriel Gray. Daytona. Let's go away. Absolutely. Absolutely. Chris McCloy, sorry. Says, hi, Fox. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. David G. Fox, did you steal those? Hey. Implied. Okay. You're implying something. Okay. That maybe didn't you? You're assuming something. Okay. Allegedly. A crime occurred. Jason says, those damn trucks, one-up cabs, just can't stay on those things. It's just weird. It's shaky. Just, hey, it's precariously placed on a truck. And, hey, maybe it would be a shame if those cabinets fell off the truck. It would be a damn shame. Zero cool? I doubt that. A lot of cool going on there, buddy. Fox, drink Fox. I'll do it. I'll do my damnedest. Jeremy Diedrich says, you know what? I could only fit 4. But it was definitely, I wanted to throw Hydro Thunder in there just to change it up a little bit because I know that one. But yes, I mean, it's definitely worth mentioning. San Francisco Rush is probably a little bit higher on this than Fast and Furious. But absolutely. Sorry, I wanted to put it on there, but I only have 4 slots. That's all I could do. Bob is in the house. How you doing? Kids asked to say hi tonight, Fox. Gentlemen, take care of your father. I know he's a handful. Good to see you guys. Love seeing you in Chicago, and hopefully we can meet again and we can get into some trouble. That's always fun. Pup Arcade. You have a bunch of dogs in your arcade? I'm just asking. No judgment, just curious. Nice. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Shannon Zahn says, "Hey Fox, happy to be here for the live airing. Thank you for being here. Also, good to have you. Another night of my favorite Hawaii. Thank you. Shucks, gosh darn it. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much." Carlo says, "Milk. I hear it does a body good." It's just a rumor. I don't know. It's probably a lie. I don't know. The government, they tell you what they want to tell you. Look, come on, mouse. Work with me. There we go. Matt Asher Gaming. Hi, all. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Langs Chris says, always Canadian whiskey. Why would there be anything else? Good job, buddy. Good job. Keeping it real. Tony C says, Crew Raid. There you go. The KRU up in the house. Thank you so much for stopping by, enjoying the raid. Carlos Sanchez says, "What's up, Fox? How you doing?" Bobby Broadway. Today is St. Ides Appreciation Day. Well, there we are. Let's appreciate, shall we? Brooklyn Menace in the house. Flaming emojis. And then a purple face of the scary demon or something. I don't know. We're having a good time. More flames, more purple demons is all good. See Marvel 360 again saying, "I'm drinking Languintas IPA. Enjoy." There we are. There he is. The KRS in the house. What's up, Fox? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let me scroll down just a little bit. Make sure we got everybody. Got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight, guys. I'm excited about the topics. It's always good to get some leakage going on from RK1 or any of these companies. So it's really, really good. Good time to speculate and talk about some fun stuff. Mitchell B says, "Dr. Pepper." I can't think of a better doctor to, be drinking. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Diet Coke, Blue Moon. Here we go. We got New Belgium. Here we go. H2O or H20. Could be a new drink. We're not exactly sure. Leave it in the comment section. Is it H20? Could be some random thing. Who knows where you are, where you're from. H20 could be the latest, greatest drink. Maybe it's a new bourbon that I need to try. It's possible. It's possible. Anything's possible. It could be the greatest thing ever. It could be almost as great as a $5 super chat from Vic Vicious 75. "Hey, Fox, sorry. Late to the party. No need to make any apologies. Thank you so much for being here." My votes, my votes on Daytona. We can't just say Daytona, can we? We got to say Daytona plus anything new. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat, buddy. Really do appreciate it. Helping out the channel as always. But unfortunately, this is the way that it goes. You understand. It's the way it has to be. You have to take a visit. You have to take a trip to the pit.
Finish him. Molina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Yes. Let's go away. Absolutely. Let's go away. Thank you so much for being here. David H says, "Good evening from Arizona. Say hello to Arizona for me. Lived in Tucson for a little bit when I was a kid. When I was 12, 13 years old. It was a fun time. Sean's Retro Arcade says, "No interest in any of those four." Look at this guy. Throwing in a ring or throwing in something I maybe should have thrown in there, right? I think I went a little too new with everything. Ivan Stewart's Off-Road is my vote. The 3-player cab, now we're talking. I would love to see that. Diversity in the play mechanics is what I want to see. Change it up, guys. Change it up. It's really, really good. So we got to scroll down. I think we got the majority of you. I'm sorry, I can't say hi to everybody. If I did, the show would be over. We can't have that. We got a lot to discuss. Frankie says, "Hello from Douglas, Arizona." Hello, right back at you. Good to see you. Bobby Broadway, did I say hi to you yet, buddy? Jason, you can always put a TV in it, taken apart. Yes, if you're struggling with the CRT replacement, it's possible. As long as you got your bezel right, they won't even see the plastic framework of the CRT. I'm just saying. It may not be ideal, but it is definitely a way to go to try to get that CRT feel for sure. Multicade Matt says, "How's the move going?" It's going, buddy. It's going. We're keeping pace. We still got some time. We got the rest of the month, but it's just as a lot. You start realizing, when did we get all this stuff? Oh, that's right. I lived here 18 years. So it piles up. Thor, Kansas City Thor in the house. All right. Says, "I really like the 1943. Thank you. It's a fun, it's a really nice little cab, man. It really is. The screen on these things they're just really, really clear. And it's actually playable as long as you don't have too many buttons. I can't imagine how the Street Fighter kind of worked out. These are fine because they're 1 and 2 player button. I have a Dragon Slayer 2, so it's just a joystick. So it's pretty easy to do. But yeah, multiple buttons, as small as that is, wouldn't work out. But the screen, Looks really, really good. Okay, I think we got everybody. We're all caught up for the most part. We got everybody here. Hey, there he is. Come on. Come on. Come on. I'm fussing at the mouse, guys. It's not, do I need to change your battery? What is your problem? We talked about this. We're streaming. You can't act like this. We'll discuss this later. Steve Sale says, hi, Fox. Those, yeah, the Death Star Ice Cube molds are sold at Target. Yes, but these come pre-rounded. But yeah, those are actually pretty cool too. The only problem with that is it does melt. It melts pretty quick. I got to tell you, it does melt pretty quick. So you would lose all the detail in the Death Star. And I say melt. I mean, it's just still a solid piece of ice in there. So looks kind of like an acorn now because most of it melted, but it's left the top. It's kind of weird, but delicious nonetheless. Keeps the ice cold. I'm sorry, not keeps the ice cold. It keeps the bourbon cold. And that's the only job it really has to do. Got to say hi to everybody. Got to slow down every once in a while. Got to slow down every once in a while. Smell the roses and appreciate another $10 super chat. This one comes to us from Maximum Low Blow for $10. I would literally buy a Daytona cab for just the music. Victory is the only true pleasure. Absolutely. Some things are they just hit that nostalgia note and there's just no replacement for it. And, it would be awesome to have that thing just playing over in the background, over off to the side. And I just on like a track mode and to hear that music, it just hits the sweet spot, doesn't it? It really would I think it would add a big thing to the arcade for sure. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat, buddy. I do appreciate it. So why don't you and I work together to take down the queen? Thank you so much again for that $10 super chat, buddy. I really do appreciate it. We got to get on down here, make sure everybody's here. Listen, once again, good advice comes to us every so often. When you see it, you got to take advantage of it. You got to jump on. You got to heed that. And, just like my good buddy Snowdubs here, laying it out there, dispensing that knowledge. Smash the like button, peeps. It helps out the channel. It helps out the stream so very much. Formula Fox is in the house saying Hydro Thunder for the win. Absolutely. Bozo, my brother, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Hey, 19K Fox, missing your super chat for $5. Let me make sure I would feel like a real jerk if I did that. I hope let me scroll up, make sure that I got everybody's super chat. I said that. Vic Vicious for $4.99. I hope that's everybody. Feel like once again, there's almost nothing worse than that. To have somebody take the time to spend some of their money to super chat you and you don't even acknowledge it. I feel like such a jerk when that happens. Horrible is how I feel. Just destroyed. Almost as bad as, if I would just sort of omit the next super chat of $2. We can't let that go. Can't let that stand. From C Marvel 360, buddy. Langoon Natiz. I don't even know what you're telling. If I say that too fast, it's probably something profane, and I'm not going to do it. You're not going to get me, buddy. Not this time. Thank you so much for that $2 super chat, though. I really do appreciate it. Got to give you something a little bit special. Why don't you say, you know what? How about you say hi to Chun-Li? I'm gonna say that in my head a couple times to figure out what the hell you're trying to get me to say. But we'll just have to move along because sometimes you just have to move along, and it can be arduous sometimes. It can be tedious, but it's great to have somebody that'll lift you up to make that transition just a little bit better. Like this guy, JJ McQuaid, a $5 super chat. Thank you so much for that super chat. Thanks for what you do. This bud's for you, actually. For me. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I really do appreciate it. Going to give you something a little bit special. I hope you're a Wolverine fan because he says hi.
Perfect! Hyper combo KO! Game's over. Time to call it quits.
Okay, everybody, so much is going on that we got to jump in. We got to talk about it. We've talked about the poll. We've talked about the glass. What's in my glass? What's in your glass? Now let's go ahead and move on to the first topic. It's going to be a quick one. That's usually what happens when you have a misfire. Unfortunately, we've got some bad news to report. A little disappointing. And given the way things are going for Arcade 1-Up now, it's not good to see this coming from another company. So last week we talked about Operation Check-In. Really excited that finally we were going to get a shooting game, a legit light gun shooting game from iiRcade, and it was going to be none other than Operation Wolf, and it was really exciting. I talked about how I played this, others have played this at their facility in Chicago. It was a great time, and we're really looking forward to it, especially if you've gone ahead and purchased the gold cabinet like I have here, and a couple Send and light guns, a big investment, ready to take advantage of that. And this was supposed to be the week, so much so that Michael B. the Game Genie was test running it, okay, on his machine up in Canada, and it was running great. It was thumbs up. It was looking good. They told us about it on Game Days, their show, and it was hopeful. He was, I think Michael said he was really hoping for this week. Well, unfortunately, as of right now, nothing, and not a peep. They didn't do a Game Days show, so nothing to report on that. So basically it's this stuff happens. Okay. And it wasn't a guaranteed lock that it was going to happen this week, but this is something that I think is fair to say is highly anticipated from iiRcade. This is definitely expanding their utility with the machine, their capabilities with the machine. And I think a lot of us are really wanting to get that, to kind of see how this was going to work out. Was it going to be seamless? What kind of hurdles were we going to have to jump through? What were we going to have to do with our Send and light guns to get it to function and work with the cab? Was it going to be seamless and smooth? And if that was the case, it was going to be really exciting for every future shooting game that came out from iiRcade. Would have been really cool. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Now, maybe it'll happen next week. Who knows? My fear is this, and this is the last thing I'm going to say on this topic, because delays happen. I understand. It's disappointing because we have other companies like iiRcade wind up making promises they do not come through. They just don't happen, period. And we have online functionality that never shows up even though it was promised. So here's my worry. Here's my concern. Michael said on Game Days last week that they have to make some changes to the game, and every time they make a change, it has to go back to title for review. What if some of these things, one of these issues is that the changes they're having to make is not going to be something they're willing to sign off on? Is it a licensing issue? And that could be something that ends up, if it's in licensing hell, it could take forever for this game to come out. And to be frank, I think it's kind of taken a long time for the game to come out. Now, we've seen the proof. The proof was in the pudding, right? And it runs smooth on the cabinet. We saw that in September on location, but it wasn't ready to be shipped out to everybody. It wasn't approved just quite yet. So I don't think the capability is lacking. I think it's a licensing. I think it's some paperwork. It's something along those lines. And the problem with that is it's not just something physically or something in software you have to fix, and then here we go. It's catering to some other entity, some other board of directors, some other bureaucrat, while the fans are sitting there just wanting the game. It is what it is, but I really wish they could get this thing together. Or maybe next time, just don't say anything at all until you know 100% for sure that you can deliver what you promise. That was going to be a quick one. Moving on to something you may have heard of. I don't know. It's just a little thing that kind of popped up this week. It's a leaked cabinet. It's kind of a twofold thing, right? There's something going on, and we're going to talk about a little bit later in the show too. There's weird how some of these cabinets are just showing up. They're just showing up, and they're not for sale anywhere. They're not available yet. They haven't even officially announced the price of some of these cabinets, but some lucky viewer somehow, some way got their hands on a cabinet, a deluxe cabinet, and they put the thing together. They sent some information over to P-Dubs, and P-Dubs broke this story. So big kudos, big thumbs up to him for bringing it to all of us and sharing that information with us. And one of the things, besides the physical cab that we kind of saw and some of the breakdown and all that, some of the information, one big thing that was revealed as part of that unveiling was this little nugget that was actually hidden in the owner's manual. If you ever had these owner's manual, they kind of have a preview of what else is coming out there. In this case, we're talking about Collect It All. Let me kind of get me off of Fast and the Furious. So not exactly what I was expecting. I think we talked about this a little bit before. I was about 75% shocked. I heard the rumors. I heard that was maybe out there, but I didn't think it was really going to happen. Not before some of the other games I think everybody really wanted. So Fast and the Furious. So if you look at the Collect Them All, it's right there in black and white, not in full color, but in black and white. So you see the manual off to the left-hand side, and in the middle is the kind of a zoomed in version of the cab that you can see. It's definitely a deluxe cab. This falls in line with the rest of the design, and there's some things that we need to talk about in this, some things that need to be focused on, some things that need to be discussed, some things that need to be highlighted, just like a super chat from my buddy Console Fanboy. Thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat. So I was thinking, Raw Thrills developed Fast and the Furious. Maybe these Raw Thrills racing games will be included too. Batman, Cruise and Blast, Drift, Dirty Driven, H2O Overdrive, or am I dreaming? If you're dreaming, that's definitely a dream I want to be a part of. Thank you so much for your $10 super chat, buddy. I really do appreciate it. And buddy, here you go.
Finish him. Scorpion wins. Fatality.
Thank you so much again for the super chat, buddy. Really do appreciate it. So this is something, there's a lot of things going on here. So obviously the fact that this is, this is the new game, this is the new racer. It's not, I think, what a lot of classic arcade fans were wanting or expecting. I don't think that this is necessarily a bad title, at all, but it's not necessarily what we were expecting. Now, if you look at the new design, you're looking at the riserless design, the new deluxe cab, it lends itself well to the picture all the way on the right, which is the stand-up version of Fast and Furious. They got the shape going on. I think that looks good. I think that if it's of the same quality as Ridge Racer, we're going to be in pretty good shape because I really like the wheel and the shifter and all that. That's good. But the problem I have, I think the problem that maybe some of you have had, is the pedals. I just don't like them. I mean, they're fine, but they're kind of clicky, kind of junky, and I just don't like this little pad kind of sliding around connected by a cord. Depending on your arcade setup, I have my cabs on a riser, so the long cord kind of it's not bad because I can set it off of the riser and get it in place. And as long as you have carpet, you're in decent shape. But it's not ideal. It's not ideal. But what if we're looking at a big design change here that could actually lend itself to a huge improvement? So the picture on the very right is going to be this, zoomed in, a close-up version of the pedal situation we got going on with your standard cabinet, your Fast and Furious stand-up cabinet, right? And you see that there's actually a plate that the pedal is mounted on, and that is secured to the cabinet itself, locked in there. So, that's obviously heavy duty. That's the way these cabinets are built. But if you look to the left, and it's hard to see the detail. It's really hard to see the detail in that black and white picture. But if they're going to get those side panels and wing them towards you to kind of replicate that, what if we're looking at a new design where the pedals are actually attached to something solid? They're not moving around, still attached with that cord, I would imagine, but locked down. Like they don't move around. And that also could lend themselves to be maybe a little more robust, a little bit sturdier, I think that would be a really good design choice instead of just this plastic thing. The plastic is fine, but you could stomp on those and crack them pretty easily. If they have a piece of wood that we're mounting those pedals to now, I think that's a good opportunity to really make a big change. But here's another problem. I think while this was good, right? This is encouraging. I don't think this is a bad thing. I think this is a good thing because I think the look is kind of cool anyway. And if they connect those two and they have the pedals there, I think that would be great. But like I said before, my cabinets are on a riser, and I know they make a riser that's that you can put on top of the riser, a small 4-inch riser, an additional riser, a booster seat, if you will, for your cabinet itself to kind of get that cabinet height up where you like it. The problem with this design, especially if they mount those pedals to the foot there, is that there's no way to space this thing up to get a good height without also raising the pedals up too, which means you're going to have to pick your foot up 4 inches or 3.5 or whatever the height of your riser is in order to operate that pedal. So that could be a bad thing. So what's most likely going to happen? I think that most likely, if they're going to go the cheaper route, what we're probably going to see is just a standard pedal setup, loose, little cutout in not the riser, but the front of the cabinet. And then that way you can move that around. I think that's probably the way it's going to go. Hey, girl, how you doing? Becky, always good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. But I think that it's still, overall, even though it would be kind of weird to space your cabinet up to get the height you really want, I would still like to see them do a little bit better job of securing those pedals. And I think this would be a great way to do it. Span that gap with your side panels and lock that in with something solid and then mount a heavier duty switch to that. I mean, and I don't even know if this thing, it may not even have a brake pedal. I guess it's Fast and Furious. Who needs the brake? I don't need a brake pedal. I just need family. Pretty sure that's from the movie. That's almost exactly what's from the movie. So what does this thing actually look like? I mean, the game itself. Not all of us have played this game. What does it look like? So if you look over here, I got a little bit of a video showing. Let's go ahead and show some of the gameplay. I did mute it because I don't know if you never know with the audio. Sometimes that stuff is copyrighted. So let's go ahead and just take a look at it real quick. Obviously, you got the raw thrills. I would assume this is going to be about, as clear as we could expect from our LCD panels, as long as they're BOE. You can see that, this is just kind of the overall look of it. Auto and manual, and then selecting your car. All standard stuff. Now, hold on. Let me pause this for a second. Now, right here is an interesting feature that these cabinets had. Actually, I just played this up in Chicago when we were, it was last September we were all together. And there's a keypad here, and it says, and it tells you right here to create a street pin or secret pin on the Pin Pro, the Pin Pro below to save your car and upgrade. So this would be a cool feature if they added this, this pad here, this input device. I mean, it would really kind of be cool to include this as a way to, save some of your preferences. Are they going to do it? I really don't know. I think that they should. I think to offer a little authenticity, you should really have that. Or maybe I dare to say they might have a digital version of it, which is probably going to be cumbersome and silly. But if it's digital where you have to do the inputs, like you use the steering wheel to go left and right and use the shifter or whatever to make your input selection, at least include it in the software in some way, right? Mimic that so that we could have, which is kind of a cool feature of the cabinet itself. If they could recreate this in some way, even if we're stuck with a digital version of this where we have to input that, with the gas pedal or something, it would be cool to have the physical buttons. But if they don't have the physical buttons, at least try to recreate this and mimic this, because this is one of the things that kind of made the game unique. I don't think this is the first game that ever did it, but it's definitely a feature. And it's a way to kind of save your progress, unlock hidden stuff, and extend the gameplay of this arcade game. So let's go ahead and keep going. Definitely something I want to see them try to recreate. And you have, other little stuff like ground effects and you have your neon and everything. Really, really looks a lot like that new cruising game that came out on Switch. Definitely some pretty good graphics. As far as the rendered race girls, I guess. And you can see this is definitely, listen, it looks a lot like a cruising clone, and what everybody has said that this is kind of a cruising clone. So maybe we can't get cruising, but maybe this wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to have in its place. I mean, if we can't, listen, we may not be able to get cruising, period. Cruising Blast on the Switch is, it's really cool, and I really, really like it. It would be great to have that in the cabinet, but I really want the old original cruising. I just don't think that's going to happen. I think it's tied up in licensing hell. Once again, we talked about that with iiRcade. I just don't know that it's going to work out. So this isn't bad. This is definitely kind of a departure from what we've seen with Outrun, which is definitely of its time, of its era. That first step into 3D with Ridge Racer, and then this game. So it's kind of got a lot of the different decades of racing, arcade racing cabs represented. So it's not bad. Is this your cup of tea? Is this exactly what you're looking for? We'll find out later as we check out the poll. Everybody continue to vote in the poll up in the chat, asking the simple question of the 4 racers I've listed, which one would you be more likely to purchase? I really need to know where everybody thinks about that. So make sure you vote in that poll. But this is some of the footage. You can see this is pretty standard. It's what you expect from an arcade racer. Nothing really huge, nothing that really stands out. I don't know if they're going to have the actors involved in this. It's probably just they probably just have licensing to the name of the film, of the franchise, and not necessarily the actors themselves. But not bad. I mean, it could be worse. I have gone back and forth about this personally. Like, okay, well, I really want something. I want some of the classics. But to be fair, maybe they weren't exactly the classics you and I wanted, but we got Outrun, and then we got Ridge Racer. And while I would have loved to see Daytona or Cruisin' or Hydro Thunder, San Francisco Rush, I dig these games, and even go back into the 80s, like the off-road game. That would have been cool. But if we can't, this isn't the end of the world. Now, am I going to buy it? I don't know. There's a lot of things you got to consider, but I am definitely digging, I'm digging this form factor. I'm digging the solid, the panels, the no riser design is definitely something I'm into. I'm liking it for sure. So I like the cab. I think the design is different enough to justify, if you get it, it's going to look different in your arcade for sure. It's going to really stand out. And they may have actually really messed up because they're not just continuing the run of the risered cabs and then moving on to deluxes. They're selling these side by side. And I got to tell you, I don't know that I'm going to want to have a risered cab next to a deluxe cab. I think they look a lot better. Now, I'm not saying that's good. That justifies me, having to go buy these cabs again. I think that gets kind of old, especially when we're in what is this, like generation 5 now of these cabinets. Rebuying the same ones over and over again is getting a little bit tough. It's kind of a hard pill to swallow. It's getting a little old, getting a little tired. But these cabinets look a lot better than the ones on the risers. Even though I love my risered cabs, these look really good. So I just don't know that I even want to bother with any more risered cabs, especially if, it's going to really sting if there's something right now that currently exists that has a riser that I really want to add to the collection. It's just not going to look good next to these deluxe cabinets. They look good. So all that being said, what is this thing going to cost? They claim, and I'm going to hold them to it because they said this repeatedly. Cyrus said this repeatedly, that $499 was the target. That was what they were going for. Now, of course, we heard something different from D-Mac from the show, and he said, well, that's the target for sure, but there's going to be some other cabs that have additional development, and I think that this one is definitely a cabinet that requires additional development. So it's not going to be $500. I'm thinking $599. I hope $599. They really need to be no more than that. If it's $699, I'm not even there. I'm not even there. But I will say that I have been stockpiling some Best Buy gift cards. So even if it is that high, I might be okay. But I just don't feel good about considering a $700 price tag until I see what games are going to be on this. Now, some other people have said, well, maybe this game, maybe that game. Even if it's just the 3 games, the three Fast and Furious games that came out on the arcade, it's going to have to be, I think it's going to have to be $599 for me to really consider it. So I think that $599 is probably the base. That's where it's going to start. But don't be surprised to see $699. And everybody's going to freak out, including me, because you said, RK1UP, that the deluxe cabs are going to be $499. Listen, I never believed that. I was the one in the chat talking to everybody, hashtag, not $499. I didn't believe they were going to be $499. I just didn't believe it. Not with all the improvements that they've added. There's just no way. And we're in this really weird space when you consider the legacy offerings right now. We have first generation legacies currently on sale now, right now. You have the new legacies also on sale right now. Everything's in stock. Everything's fully in stock. So, okay, kind of weird. Now you're going to have a third legacy offering. I mean, it's going to be a deluxe cab, but it's the legacy cabs, all on sale, all at the same time. I mean, consider for a minute all your Mortal Kombats that are out there. You got the wings that we hated, that I hated. You got the recessed panel that I hated. I absolutely hated. You've got the different multiple skins of that with the Defender. Bad idea. And then Mortal Kombat 3 wasn't bad. So you have, but at the very least, I think Defender's probably gone. Mortal Kombat 3, I think it's still an exclusive at Sam's Club, but you can still get that one for, go to Best Buy's website right now for $449. You can get the first legacy. And then the second legacy, the much better, the superior legacy, except for that crappy monitor, is currently on sale for $499. Or you can get the deluxe that will have the better monitor, the same games list, no riser, little caps, screw caps on the sides, speaker grills for the same price? No, of course not. I don't think so. But listen, I would love to be wrong. And if it's $499, expect those other cabs to just like fall apart. I mean, pricing, I mean, especially if the word gets around. I mean, the word has already gotten around as much as it can be, but there's still a lot of people out there that don't understand the differences between these cabs. And I think, Arcade One-Up is kind of doing a real disservice to the general audience, not the fanatics like you and I, who are really into the details, who know the difference between a molded coin door and a coin door sticker. Oh, this one has 12 games. This one has 14. People don't know this stuff, not general people, just shopping for something I think is going to look kind of cool. So I don't know. I don't see it happening. And it just makes it just a weird time to be getting into this hobby when I like Mortal Kombat. What are they supposed to buy? This one? Well, what's this one have? Well, I think that's ugly. Well, what about this? And they're all separated by $50? No, I just don't think it's going to happen at all. I think we're going to see these deluxe cabinets a little bit more expensive than that. But listen, that's just my 2 cents. I could be totally wrong. I could be completely off base, and that's okay. But I think it would be nice if they could maybe fix the pedal problem, take a step forward with this, and maybe take a step, one more step towards a better design. But I gotta say, this is not a bad design. I think they're definitely moving forward. But I think at some point you're gonna have to ask yourself, Arcade One-Up. I think we've probably we've got market saturation. It's oversaturated. It's dripping with too many cabs. So there's another little arcade leak out there you probably heard about. I don't know, maybe you did. And it's Time Crisis. I don't know if you heard about it. You probably heard it first right here, right? Time Crisis? No, we've heard about this for a long time. So let's talk about the leak that happened this week. It was another listing. It was sent to me by not Big Reese, but somebody down under that said, "Hey, Fox, you got to check this out." And it was a new listing, another listing, an additional listing of Arcade One-Up's Time Crisis 2. And it just had the title and the price tag. And $13.99 is crazy, but that is Australian dollars. When you convert that over, the US price was going to be $9.43. Not cheap. And a far cry from the $7.99 we thought we were going to have to pay. But this is probably including a lot of duties and taxes that the horrible, corrupt government of Australia inflicts on their arcade fans. Their citizens deserve better. They deserve more. And I don't know if there's a pro-arcade politician that you can vote for, but if there is, give them your vote because you deserve better. So this is the latest and greatest of this cabinet, but we've been hearing about this cabinet for a very long time. You roll the clock all the way back to a year ago. And we were talking about this. This was part of those original GameFly leaks that happened early part of 2022. And this is the list that originally came out, and you can see that every single one of these cabs have come out. The dates have kind of changed a little bit here, a little bit there, but for the most part, they've all come out pretty much like we thought, with the exception of the one highlighted on the bottom, Time Crisis. Now, the original release date for Time Crisis, according to these GameFly leaks, was 10/15/2022, so October 15th, mid-October, and that's $7.99 price tag. Now, we also saw that price tag confirmed with the Autorama leaks that it was just a listing, no pictures, just a listing of the cabinet at $7.99. And of course, that one, when that listing was taken down. So this has been going on back and forth and back and forth. And as every single cab came out, we kept thinking, okay, where's Time Crisis? I mean, I like racing cabs and shooter cabs. They're different. They're not 6-button beat 'em ups. They're not fighting cabs. They're not beat 'em ups. They're something a little bit different. And I dig them. So come on. Where's it at? Well, no one really knows. These things pop up and they disappear. They pop up, they disappear, and they really provide no new information. A price, but the date is never really acknowledged for the most part. Well, Big Reese, if you go over to his channel, this is a thumbnail. This is his thumbnail, and he's breaking down what he thinks is the release date for Time Crisis. Now, if you want to find out all the details on how he arrived at this, go over and check out his video. But basically, what he's hearing, what he's thinking, is this October of 2023. So this coming October is when we can get this one full year from its original date. So to me, that kind of adds a little bit of credence to it, adds a little validity to it, because, okay, it's possible that they said, listen, we got all these other cabinets coming out. They're stacking up. We're having some problems and issues with Blitz and with Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Let's go ahead and just push Time Crisis out a year. We got enough cabs, push it out a year. And then I think at some point in the development, I think this was going to have a riser. I thought this original cab was, I thought the original design for Time Crisis was probably going to have a riser. But then we saw that leaked image with no riser. So I think because of the push and then the introduction of the deluxe cabs, we're kind of getting the best of both worlds now. So what we could potentially see this year is going to be 2 cabs, a riser, a racer and a shooter that are riserless. They are deluxe cabs. So the deluxe offerings are going to be pretty varied, which is kind of cool. You're not just going to have legacies. You're going to have a couple different versions, a couple different ways to play within that deluxe form factor. So that looks really cool. So what, beyond that, what else am I thinking? How do these leaks fit in? Like, how did they, we got this leak here of this manual that was included with a cab that wasn't supposed to be released yet. So how does all that factor in? Well, here's what I think was supposed to go down. Listen, they printed these manuals. They knew these manuals were going to be in these cabs. So they knew as soon as the cabinet went out and was delivered to a customer that they were going to know that this cab was coming out. So in my mind, the smart money is you got to announce the cab before you include it in some of your literature on cabs that are going out. We had heard originally that these new deluxe cabs are going to be, delivered summer-ish, right? Summertime. So here's what I potentially think could be the timeline. And Big Reese also agrees with some of this. I think we're looking at E3, June 13th, 2023. The original plan before we found out, before this mysterious cab showed up out of nowhere, and then we saw the manual. I think probably the original plan was going to be this. At E3, they announced Time Crisis and Fast and Furious. I think we've already seen, and then the cabinet, the Namco, the Time Crisis cabinet, all the way to your right, you see down there, that is the one that was spied out there. Okay. I think they already have that mocked up. Obviously, they have Fast and Furious mocked up, ready to go. I mean, it's going to be an offering. It's in a manual. I think they're going to announce Time Crisis, Fast and Furious in June, and then summer-ish after E3 or around E3 is when these cabinets are going to be delivered to customers. So at some point, they're going to announce the official price, and then they're going to announce a date at which you can pre-order these cabinets. I'm assuming it's going to be June-ish, maybe the month before, and then you can expect to have your cabs. Hopefully, I'm sure the way they were planning, you'll get your cab after E3, which is after the announcement of Time Crisis and Fast and Furious, or at the very least Fast and Furious, because it's in their documentation. So I think that's probably what the original plan was going to be. And, that would make some sense. That would really make some sense as far as like a timeline goes. So what does that mean? I think that we're probably looking at, we know the cabs are in country. They've made it. They're obviously here. They're showing up at people's houses. They're showing up on different sites. We're going to talk about that a little bit later too. So they're here, physically here. I think we're looking at an official price and a pre-order date showing up pretty soon. And I think that it's probably going to be, what is that? May, maybe you can pre-order yours and then you'll have them by mid-June, late June. And then that would coincide with the announcement at E3. Hopefully, knock on wood, they're going to go ahead and release those or announce those cabinets officially in some kind of capacity at E3 or maybe before. And then we'll know exactly what's coming. Hopefully we can know how much they're going to cost. But we're going to have to get into a little bit of an issue. A little, that sounds like a great plan. It sounds like an awesome rollout. Make the most of a couple new cabs, different design, deluxe cab, different games. Everybody wants different games. This would be great if we could get these games, and get these rolled out. But there's something happened. There was some kind of speed bump. Something kind of, derailed this train. And it's not good. So it's a damn shame that these cabs, these deluxe cabinets, these things that are just really causing a lot of excitement within the arcade one-up community, home arcades in general. The design is pretty cool. Design is something we've wanted. The design is something we've seen in XL cabs, and to see these finally coming into the 3/4 scale is pretty awesome. But it's a damn shame they just keep falling off trucks. It's really weird. So what am I talking about? So P-Dubs, right? And his contact, the person told him, hey, listen, I have the class of 81 and here's what it looks like. And it's awesome. And that's where we got the leak about the Fast and Furious cabinet. but that's not the only one out there. So we've got Kid Vid uh, is is shooting full blown videos of his cabinet that he just picked up, his brand new Deluxe, and it's next to a second gen Mortal Kombat 2. I mean, it's a full blown video of hey, here it is assembled, here's the size comparisons, it's really cool, and all this stuff. And this is a clip from B's video where he's looking at Kid Vid's video. It's kind of a video and video. We're commentating on a commentation on somebody else's video. This is Inception of the highest order. But there's nobody has these cabs. You can't go to Best Buy. Nobody's got them. You can't go somewhere. It's not like, well, it's secret. You got to go to this website, Shop Hippo. Nobody's got them, but yet people are getting them. It's just really odd. It's really weird. Well, where else are we seeing these things? Well, check this out. So this also popped up, and Michael B covered this on his channel. This is actually a listing on OfferUp, and it's the title is brand new in the box video arcade quarter machine. Couldn't you just read the box that you have? Just say what it is. I mean, Arcade One, I'm sure, but anyway, I guess brand new in the box video arcade quarter machine rolls off the tongue a little bit better than Arcade One Up. $400, not a bad deal at all. Not a bad deal at all. But how the hell are these things just popping up on listings out in California? Well, there could be something nefarious going on. I think it's safe to say that somebody, decided to have, participate in a 5-finger discount and take these things. Now, is it the person selling them? I don't know. Some of the people that have gotten their hands on these have paid for them, and they probably bought them from OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace or something. So I don't think that they really understood what they were maybe buying, or understood that these things were, hot, for lack of a better term. I mean, if you go to Facebook Marketplace right now, there's Arcade One-Ups everywhere. Everybody's selling them, and it's kind of easy to have these things sort of blend in. A lot of them are still in box, so it's not unusual to see an Arcade One-Up in a box for sale. So it's not really weird, not that far outside the norm. So I would forgive anybody who jumped on these, especially at $400. It doesn't sound like a super bargain basement purchase. Like if it was $100, it's like, well, you got to start scratching your head. Like, really? This seems shady. But 400 seems like, okay, it's in box. I know these things go for about 500 on Best Buy. So okay, sure. So I'm not gonna shoot the. I'm not gonna necessarily blame the buyer, but the seller, you're shady, bro. There's no way you got these things legit. It's like I'm reminded of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Jose Canseco bet, tell me you didn't pay money for this. Well, a Deluxe cabinet, MK, tell me you didn't pay money for this, because this ain't real. This ain't real at all. Something else did pop though. Something else while we're talking about the Deluxe cabinets that nobody's supposed to have. Arcade One Up did release a video for each one of the new Deluxe cabinets over on their website. And we talked a little bit about maybe potentially there's an issue with some of these monitors. So let's take a look at one of the videos, the Pac-Man video in particular. Let's go ahead and take a look at that little video. It is muted, so that I think they also use copyrighted music, and it's just something I like to do. I like to play this stuff without the music. This is their scissor reel of the Pac-Man cab. It's laid back. Look at that monitor. It doesn't look bad at all. We don't see any of the washing out on the left and right. Specifically in the corners, Justin over at Console Kits was bringing this up. Some of the footage of him actually playing this in Vegas, not this one, but he was playing. I think he was playing this one or Miss Pac-Man, the Class of '81. I think he was playing that in the hotel room, and he was playing Rolling Thunder, I think, and called attention to the lights, the oversaturation or the glare in the corners, and it looks like edge lighting, which is something that you see like on TN monitors. Lower quality monitors will light from the edge, and that's not what you want. You want an LED backlight to provide an even light for the whole picture. If this is to be believed, let's play it one more time. If this image is to be believed, it looks really good. So I'm not seeing anything like that. Is this the full production run? Maybe, maybe. I hope so. I hope we're getting the best monitor possible. Also, you have that angle to contend with. I know it's a little bit funky, but this is their new video. And listen, you can go to their website and you can see this is attached to the listings of each individual deluxe cab. But I just wanted to share that one with you and let you know that it's either, the monitor situation is either looking better or they're getting better at masking the problem. So I hope that's not the case. I hope we're just getting another great monitor, LED backlight, and everything is good and golden, and they keep this thing at the $500 price point that they promise. So, with all this stuff being said, I have some questions. I have some real questions this year. I have 3 questions that we really need to consider. Because of what we saw, because of, the leaked stuff going on, because of the stuff that I just said and my opinions of what I think might be coming out and all the other leaks pertaining to Time Crisis, we gotta really ask ourselves some serious questions. If I believe Time Crisis is coming this year, it's going to be announced at E3. It's going to be coming out later this year, October. So, close to the holidays ish, which would line up with something that D-Max said about the fourth quarter having a new cabinet. If that's the case, and it's a deluxe cabinet as far as what we've seen, Time Crisis, a deluxe cabinet, why wasn't it in the manual? Why didn't we see a picture of Time Crisis in the collect them all section? Was it just because they only had a spot for 4 cabinets on that section? Is it because maybe Fast and Furious is coming out before Time Crisis and Time Crisis is coming out much later? That would kind of line up with some of the information we're hearing. But I'm curious, if we think that's the case, why then is Time Crisis not in that manual? It's something to think about. Another big question I've had with not so much when they first announced the deluxe cabinets, but as time has gone on, because we saw a little bit of a staggered release last year with the legacy cabinets, and we saw basically the same lineup come out, and then they came out with Capcom a little bit later. So it was a staggered release. I don't know if there's something where they can't release them all at the same time or whatever. Or maybe they knew the monitor issue was going to be a problem, and so they wanted to save the good monitors for Capcom because, as those in the community will tell you, they hate Mortal Kombat. No, that's not the case. They don't really hate Mortal Kombat. But the question remains, though, where's the Capcom Deluxe? I mean, of all the cabs that are going to get a Deluxe, you think it's going to be all your legacy cabs, so you think that Capcom would be part of that. So once again, if you go back to the manual, why wasn't the Capcom Deluxe also in the manual? Are we just not going to get a Capcom Deluxe? I find that really hard to believe unless now this could be, if you're a Capcom fan, this could be exciting. If we're not getting a Capcom Deluxe, then remember what D-Max said in the show last month, the one update. He talked about we are getting an XL cab late this year. What if that XL cab is actually going to be a Capcom cab? Now, will it be a Capcom Legacy, but it's an XL form factor? That would probably make the most sense as far as games they already have. Just put it in the XL form factor. Just make an XL cabinet, maybe give it a unique shape. We already got those freaking... they do hate it, Fox. No console fanboy. No, they love it. They make 87 of them. So is the XL cab going to be a Capcom cab? Will it be a Capcom Legacy? Will it be a new Capcom game? Listen, I'm seeing some of you in the chat. I would love to see a Capcom XL, Alpha, Street Fighter 3. Maybe it's another Legacy, but with a different lineup that includes some of those games. Maybe instead of Dark Stalkers that we saw in like the Big Blue, we get Alpha, some of those bonus games. Maybe we get Street Fighter 3. Do we get that one in there? Is it possible? I mean, that's CPS 3. Is that something we just can't expect to see just yet? I don't know. So I think those are legit questions. We sit here and we think we know exactly what we're talking about. Am I blurry? I'm blurry. We talk about this stuff and we think we got it all figured out, but it raises some more questions. Things begin to conflict, especially when you consider what was in the manual and what was not in the manual. And I think that, if you're a Capcom fan, you got to be wondering what's going on. I think it would really be cool if the reason it wasn't in the manual is because it wasn't a deluxe cab. It's an XL cab and it's a Capcom cab. And wouldn't it be super awesome and cool if that XL Capcom cab was like, this Dynamo cab, that shape? That would be sick. That would be really cool. That would be something I'd be into. Obviously, the games list is a big deal, but if the reason we're not having a legacy is because we're going to have an XL, it's going to be a new form factor, and it's going to have a good 19-inch monitor. Okay, we got to have a good 19-inch monitor. I think that's something to look forward to. Go with a solid title in an XL. Forget the Pro, forget all the other stuff, and give us a reasonable price tag. And that could be something that really, would be worth getting really, really excited about. But that's just my 2 cents. Let me know what you all think about that in the chat. Am I off base? Are they going to give us something different? They didn't really talk about much different this year. They didn't talk about a lot of new products. The stuff that they talked about was like, well, yeah, we're going to have 3 or 4 or 5 new things, but they weren't all going to be new cabinets. There were going to be some like shovelware, not some shovelware, but collectible stuff and small stuff, cost-effective stuff, lower cost items. And for me, I got to tell you, lower cost, if anything, does not mean quality. I want you to look at that.
What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
It is once again that time to go ahead and wrap it up. But before we do, we have got to look at this poll. Okay, so the poll question, real quick, for those of you who did not vote, jump up there. Listen, we got 293 votes. Can we get 7 more votes? Let's send a clear message to iiRcade1up on what we think of these racing cabinets in order of bestest to worstest. That's not the question. The question was simply this: vote for the racing cabinet you would most likely buy from iiRcade1up from the list below. I listed 4 cabinets, 4 pretty good cabinets. I also included Fast and Furious in there. Come on, 5 votes, just 5 more. I know we can do this. Y'all are killing it. Y'all are killing it. Give me 5 more votes. I'll talk a little bit longer. I'll sip some of the, when the ice melts, it's like second drink. Good thing about that Query ice, it's still got a big old chunk of ice left in there, which means I can absolutely pour myself another drink. Maybe after the show's over, kick my feet up and just enjoy the thought of a great week gone by. A lot of good videos. 2 more votes, guys. Come on. Can I get just 2 more votes? 1 more vote. Let's get the 300. Together we can accomplish this. Together we will rise above 300. Can I get a 300? There we go. You are amazing. Absolutely awesome. So 300 votes. Let's go ahead and kill this poll. And real quick, what is going to be the cabinet listed that you are most likely to purchase? And with 41%, not a big surprise, 41% is Daytona USA, 26% is Cruisin' USA, 19% is Hydro Thunder, and unfortunately, the yet unreleased but confirmed Fast and Furious cabinet is coming in dead last at 12%. Now, 12% of 300 isn't bad. 12% is still a desire. 12% is saying, listen, of all these 4 cabinets, I would rather purchase Fast and Furious over Daytona. That's some fanatical people that really, really, really want to get their hands on this cabinet. So that's a good thing. But iiRcade1up, pay attention. There's some other cabinets out there that could really generate some revenue for you. There's a lot of people out there that are jazzed about some of these other titles. And there's titles on here, as you pointed out in this chat, that I didn't even mention. There's more out there. There's absolutely more out there. The boomer audience, C North. Well, we are a bit boomery, so forgive us. But, come on. Arcade is kind of our jam. But jump in there and definitely vote. And listen, I think at the end of the day, I am still undecided about this cabinet, but I have not ruled out Fast and Furious. It could be a really, really good cabinet. It could be a really fun cabinet. I dig the racers. I dig the shooters. So this one, I'm curious. I'm interested. And that's the way I think that we should all approach this, with an air of caution. Let's not overpay. Let's not let FOMO take over. And, with any luck, I'll be able to get my hands on one and tell you what I think. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel. Don't work too hard this week, okay? Keep that work under control. And I want to see all of y'all back here next week. Y'all have a blessed day, blessed week, and I will see all of you next time. Peace.